Welcome to this Geeta paniniyam series, which is decoding the Bhagavad Gita slokas using Panini's Ashtadhyayi. So this is a supplementary video to the website already launched, which is https samskritam21.com/bg/index00.html. In this website, we have given you the various aspects. So by reading alone will not help. So we are coming out with a series of videos which will give you the various aspects of reading the Bhagavad Gita and decoding it. So you may have a few series videos, around 10 maximum, so that you understand the concept. This alone will not help. Further reading on that site is important. So whenever we read any sloka and how to decode it, the first step is you have to do what is called as padachedam, that is splitting the words. The second step is kriya padani, identifying the verbs. Then you have got namani cha sarvanamani, or we also call it as shabda rupam, identifying the nouns and pronouns with the case endings. Then we also have what is called as avyayani, or the indeclinables. This is something similar to the articles in English, a, an, and the. Then we have anvayam, which is rearranging the sloka in the subject, object, predicate order. Then the next step, or the sixth step in reading and decoding any sloka, is understanding the meaning of the sloka. Then the step 7 is bhashyam, commentary to explain the same further using the respective philosophies. However, this Geeta Paniniyam series is intended to help the students of Sanskrit right from basic to understand the first 4 steps. As far as bhashyam is concerned, artham is concerned, there are a lot of websites, lot of books which is available. And the bhashyam can also vary with the siddhantam or the philosophy, like Madhva Siddhantam or the Shankaracharya's Advaita Vedanta, or Ramanujacharya's Vishishtadvaita. So we will not delve into this. If you want to have a good collection of commentaries, you can go to Geeta Super site by IITians, and that will help you to understand the bhashyam. Our focus is only step 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now let us take padachedam, how to undertake a padachedam. So the first one is, when you let us take the first sloka, Dhritarashtra uvacha, dharmakshetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsavaha, mamaka pandavaschaiva, kim akurvata sanjaya. So breaking the sloka into original words, the knowledge of sandhi and samhita is very, very crucial. Certain rules are applied on the syllables and they undergo changes when in conjunction with other syllables. This is represented, if you go back to our website, the Sandhi Vichedam or the Padachedam is done using this blue box. So if you click on that blue box, you will get the further split ups and how the Sandhi has worked. And this does not include what is called as Samasa Padam. What is Samasa Padam? I'll explain to you in the coming slides. So now when we decode the verse sloka, Dhritarashtraha uvacha. So there is something called a visarga. The visarga lopa has happened. So we are not able to see the visarga there because of some rule, which we will see later. Then Dharmakshetre, there is no samhita there. Kurukshetre, there is no samhita or sandhi there. Samavetaha, wherein you see that the just like Dhritarashtraha uvacha, in case of Samavetaha also there is something called Visarga Lopam. Then we have got Mamakaha, Pandavaha, Cha, Eva, Kim, Akurvata, Sanjaya. So wherever we have put that superscript, means it is one type of Sandhi. So Dhritarashtraha is 1, Samavetaha is 2, Mamakaha, Pandavaha. So even though there is a Visarga there, unlike case 1 and 2, in case of 3, the Visarga does not become Lopa. Visarga remains as it is. So that is also one type of Visarga rule, which you will see as we go along. And then Pandavaha Cha. So the Visarga becomes Shakaram there. So Pandavas cha and eva becomes jaiva. Kim akurvata Sanjaya. So there actually it is only samhita. There is no change to the samhita. The samhita remains as it is. So once you know the words, you cannot split it as kima kurvata, because there is no word called kima. Even though there is a word called kurvata may be there, but kima as a this one is not there. It should be kim, which is an hal antyam. So all consonants have a in the end for the pronunciation purpose, as we are aware of. So this is how the entire structure of the 700 slokas which we propose to do it on our website. So first thing for doing padachedam, you have to understand which are the words which have been split. Look at the superscript and then you will know the respective words. Then you go to sandhi, then you will understand how it works. Now let us take one more. So Sanjayaha uvacha drishtva. So Sanjayaha uvacha, again visarga lopam. Drishtva tu Pandavanikam. So there we have given a superscript called M, which is Anuswaram. So this Makaram has become Ma with Halantyam has become what is called as Anuswaram. So Vyutham, same way, Makarasya Anuswaram. Duryodhanaha Tada, again Visargam has become Sakaram. Acharyam Upasangamya, just like what we saw earlier. Raja Vachanam Abravit, again exactly the same way we saw earlier, Samhita without any changes. So Kim is Anuswaram. Then you have got Acharyam Upasangamya, Samhita with no changes. Similarly, we have got another case, Tatra Pashyat, Tatra Apashyat, Sthitan Parthaha, Pitran Atha Pitamahan, Acharyan Matulan Bhratran Pautran Putran Sakin Tatha. So when you make the Samhita and make the changes as per the Sandhi, the entire sloka changes. So once you split it, the entire meaning comes out very clearly. So Matulan Bhratran, there is no change. It's only Samhita. It goes together. Similarly, Putran. But as far as Sakin's Tata is concerned, there is a change. So Na and Ta, Sakin, there you get a Sakaram as well as an Anuswaram, which we will be doing in the further presentations. This is a high level understanding. You will have separate under this one for each of the type of sandhis. Then now let us go to Panini and Lagu Siddhanta Kaumadi. Two things we need to understand is Parasannikarshaha Samhita. So what is Samhita? As per the definition of Panini in his, as you know, Ashtadhyayi has got 4 parts in the 8 chapters into 4. So there are 32 padas. So this Paraha Sannikarshaha Samhita is coming in the first Adhyaya, 4th pada, 109th sutra, which tells that when any 2 varnas come together, very close proximity, it is called as Samhita. Then in Halo Anantaraha Samyogaha, he also gives another definition, which is first Adhyaya, first pada, 7th sutra, which says when there are 2 huls together, hul means consonant, when 2 consonants come together, it is called Samyogaha. So if you look at it, Samhita is a superset and Samyogaha is a subset. So you need to understand these 2 concepts to understand Sandhi further. So wherever Samhita means, it excludes hal together, which is an example of Samyogaha. So these are the 2 definitions of Panini which we need to go through. So now let us look at how the permutation and combination works. There are 3 classes of syllables, which is Swaraksharam or Ach, which is called in Panini's language as Ach, which we call as Swaram. They are also called as vowels in English. Then we have got Vyanjanaksharam or Hal in Panini's language, which is called consonants. Then we have got Visarga, which is represented by 2 dots. Visargaha is very popular in Sanskrit. In many places you will see it. And you have also got what is called as Anuswaram. Just now we saw in one of the sloka, Vyutham, where Ma got replaced by Anuswaram, which is represented by a dot. It is represented by a dot. So now let us look at the combinations. So the first and foremost combination will be Ach plus Ach. Then you have got Ach plus Hal. Then you have got hal plus hal, which is already we discussed as samyogaha, hal plus ach, visargaha plus ach, and visargaha plus hal. These are the high level scenarios. And within these scenarios, you will get many sub scenarios as well. So now let us look at these 6 scenarios to begin with in this summary or high level presentation, which is the first one. So when we look at ach plus ach is scenario number 1, which is called as ach sandhi or swara sandhi. And in our description, we have used in that blue box, when you click, you will see 1 is equal to A1 or A02. Wherever you see the prefix as A, it means ach sandhi. And the number 0102 is nothing specific. It is, I have taken a simple order of the number as per the Bhagavad Gita. There is no grouping or regrouping on based on any logic. So this is only for the purpose when you are reading A01 means this is the first ach sandhi we are seeing in the Gita is what you have to understand. 2 means this is the second, but then A1 and A02 can keep repeating based on the type of sandhi, which we will be seeing in the next presentation called ach sandhi. So examples of ach sandhi: pashya etam, akaram plus ekaram. It becomes pashyetam on the 3rd sloka of the first chapter. Similarly, sarve eva. So the sarve, A and A, because of some grammar rule, that ekarantam got sarveva. So sarveva. Then you have got tu eva aham. U plus A and A plus A. So tu plus A becomes tua and A plus A becomes dirgha A. That is why it becomes tvevaham. So that is one. So within this ach sandhi, you have got various types of permutation combinations like ayadi sandhi, you have got yana sandhi, you have got dirgha sandhi, etc., which we will be seeing in a separate episode. The next combination is ach plus hal, where there is no change. So for example, dharma kshetre is ending with A, ka, so is starting with hal. The first one is ach, A plus ka. There is no change there. In this case of Samhita, there is no change. So it remains as it is. This example you will see in 1.1. Then you have got hal plus hal. Within hal plus hal, you have got various permutation combinations. I am only giving you a few examples here at a high level overview. So the first one is there is no change, as we have already seen in Shloka 126. Acharyan is halantam, followed by another halma. Only it becomes samyuktaksharam and it goes as acharyan, matulan, bratran. So there is no change when two hals come together. Then we have got hal sandhi when two hals come together on certain circumstances. So in the example which I am giving you is Sakeen plus Tatha. So you have got a Nakarantam followed by Ta. What happens? Na goes and Na is replaced by Anuswaram as well as a Sakaram. So how this happens, we will see, but you need to understand this is another category. Similarly, you have got Tat, which becomes Tad in independence, whether it is followed by Hal or whether it is followed by Ach. There is something called Padantam. So there is one rule of Panini, Jalam Jasho Ante. By that rule, irrespective of what comes after Takaram, it always Tat will become Tad. Then the third sub-scenario under Hal plus Hal is Makarasya Anuswaram, which we have already seen, Pandavanikam, Vyutham, etc. There we have used the notation as superscript as M. So in order not to clog the screen and the learning process, wherever Anuswaram is there, we have just given a superscript as M. That is the third sub-scenario. There can be many more sub-scenarios like that. Then the fourth combination which we are seeing is Hal plus Ach, where there is no change at all. So we have already seen that. Kim plus Akurvata we saw already. Acharyam, Upasangamya also we saw. Then in certain scenarios of Hal plus H, there are some changes or additions coming in. So that is represented by O01, O02, etc. as the notation. To take an example, we have got Vishidan idam abravit. This is again sloka, first chapter, 28th sloka. So this nakaram is hal, followed by a different ach, that is e. When e comes after na, what happens? For nakaram, there is a dvitvam or duplication. So it becomes vishidan idam is another example of hal plus ach. Then we come to the fifth scenario, which is visargaha plus ach, where you have got dhritarashtraha uvacha is one example, which we already seen. So visarga becomes lopam. So the notation used in such cases is V01, V02, etc. Similarly, you have got visarga plus hal. That also we have classified under visarga sandhi itself. I have not given a separate notation for that. So visarga followed by ach, also there is change. Visarga followed by cha, which is an vyanjana, also there is a change. So pandavaha cha becomes pandavas cha. So this is an example of visarga sandhi, and there are also examples of visarga plus hal, where there are no changes, which we have seen already. Matulaha, shashuraha, pautraha, mamakaha, pandavaha. So these are the 6 high-level categories where because of samhita changes happen. Then you may be wondering whether samhita happens in other cases as well. So there is a sloka there for understanding that. Samhitaikapade nitya, nitya dhatu upasargayoho, nitya samase vakye tu sa vivaksham apekshate. So where all sandhi is required or samhita changes happen, the changes related to samhita happens in these 3 cases. So the first case is padam. Samhita ekapade, in whenever there is a single padam, always it is permanent. So for example, padam is a very complicated thing to understand. As I said, we will see in further slokas, but here to understand padam is very simple. Take the example of guravaha is bahuvachanam. So when you're talking about guravaha, is arrived from the dhatu called guru, which is ukarantam. So to that ukaranta dhatu, you add the as jas pratyayam, which is as pratyayam, su au jas, guru plus jas. When you add, in that case, always sandhi is mandatory. Similarly, dhatu upasarga, when you have got a dhatu and an upasarga combination. So for example, abi is an upasarga which is getting added to the dhatu called ahanyata. Then also sandhi is mandatory. So you get abhyahanyata, abhyahanyanta. Then in case of samasam, samasam is nothing but a compound word, what we call as a compound word. So whenever there is a compound word, so Bhima plus Arjuna, samaha, equivalent to Bhima and Arjuna. So there is a samasa. Wherever there is a samasa, sandhi is mandatory. So Bhima Arjuna samayudi, their 2 as come together, becomes dirgham. Similarly, lupta pinda plus udaka kriyaha, it becomes lupta pindodaka kriyaha. So wherever samasa is there, dhatu upasarga is there, padam is there, sandhi is always applicable. But in vakye tu sa vivaksham apekshate, but in a sentence it is optional. But however, if you see all the slokas, if the slokas is for the purpose of by-hearting and then for the purpose of chandas, as a practice for the purpose of the meter and chanting, even though sandhi is optional, it has been seen as usage. So when we used to work in banking industry, there's something called banking theory and practice. So in theory, it is optional, but in practice, sandhi, you will see it across all the great works. So this knowledge of sandhi and padacheda is the first step in understanding the literature as well as the text as well as the Sanskrit. So with this, we come to an end of the high level overview. Then we will have, for each category of samhitas and combinations, we will have more videos coming shortly. Sri Krishna Arpana Mastu.